Wildcard active. I've had enough. The chip is active. So today we're going to have a look at my current draft for Game Week 8, my wildcard, how I think it's going to line up, my potential changes, and why I've decided to play it. What is up everyone, FPL Harry here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be having a look at my Game Week 8 wildcard draft. And before you all say it, oh is it actually active? My wildcard, I've not just started making transfers, my wildcard is active. I've clicked the activate wildcard button, there's no going back. If I unactivate it, I'm on about a minus 30 trying to catch price rises already anyway. So my wildcard is active and there's no changing it. Now to have a bit of an explanation of why I've wildcarded. I have had another red arrow this week. Things have not started well. I feel like I've made a couple of good decisions. A couple of players that I haven't bought have done quite well. Like Son, I need to get him. I've basically been playing with 10 men every week with Jordan Pickford. You can count that as 9 players every week because I've had Marcus Rashford in there. There are enough things going wrong for me every week that I have decided to activate the wildcard. So my old team is up on screen now. Of course, we had Kabore for the double game week. Let's see how he does later on in the week. We do have Botman, who is now flagged. They told us that he should be fine, that he was going to give every chance to play it. Now, apparently he's out for a month. Now, this could mean he's back in game week 9, so we do need to consider that. But still, there's enough things. I wouldn't actually have very many defenders to play this week anyway, because I don't want to play Kabore. Estupiñán has Liverpool, and then Botman is injured as well. Moving further up the pitch, we have double Manchester United midfield, who are, of course, continuing to disappoint all of us in our FPL teams. I have no Son. I have no Aston Villa as well, which is a big one. I had 2 free transfers. Now, that is the key thing for me that put me off it slightly. I had 2 free transfers. If I knew I was going to wildcard this week, I would have used a transfer in Game Week 7 to take a 1-week punt on someone. But I didn't necessarily know that I was going to wildcard. And just because I've got 2 free transfers, that shouldn't put me off. So, looking at my Game Week 7 wildcard draft, I'm going to start in goal. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to go with Areola and Turner as my 2 goalkeepers. Turner plays well in the next couple of games. It's Crystal Palace and then Luton, and then Areola from Game Week 10 has a fantastic run of fixtures. There are some great goalkeepers for more money, but the drafts I'm putting together, I am already trying to scrape the barrel with the money that I'm spending, so I'm actually pretty happy with these. Turner, he's been good. There is always the risk that he doesn't play, but I'm going to play Areola most weeks anyway, so I'm not too bothered about that in general. Moving into defence, Matty Cash is the first name on the sheet. He is in there again. He got an assist in Game Week 7. He is going to stay in my lineup, and there is absolutely no chance. He is pretty much a lock in this wildcard. The fixtures are there. The attacking threat is there. The form is there. The price as well is there. There's practically a no-brainer to be picking him on wildcard. Now, the other defenders that we've got, the cheap option we've got is a bit of an FPL hero from the past, is Charlie Taylor at Burnley. He's dropped down to 3.9 million and he's actually starting for Burnley at the moment. So I don't plan on playing him pretty much ever. Game Week 18, whereas the blank game week, he has a decent enough fixture, so I am looking a little bit further ahead where I might have to play him in that week. But apart from that, it will be my other 4 defenders where I play 3 of them every week. We have Udogie. From Game Week 8 is when the Spurs fixture run starts. He does look really good continuing to go forward. Hasn't picked up many points in the past couple of games, but they have been difficult. I think they will do well and he will continue to do well in the fixtures they have over the next few weeks as well. We are going to keep a little bit of Newcastle cover. At the moment, it's Dan Burn. It could be Fabian Schär. I really wish it was Botman. And if Botman is going to be back in Game Week 9, the only fixture he's missing is West Ham away. Now, if he's only going to miss West Ham away, then I'm not actually that bothered. I could just play potentially Estupiñán, who has Liverpool at home this week, who I still think he could do well in that fixture. So I am going to keep an eye on Botman's injury. If not, it will probably be Dan Burn or I'll go up to Schär. Now, the big question all of you will be asking, I'm sure already, is where is Kieran Trippier? It is almost impossible to build a draft with Son, Salah, Haaland and Kieran Trippier as well without completely ruining the rest of your squad. Now, I really want Kieran Trippier. He is a player that I will keep building drafts to try and fit him in. But right now, I have not found a draft that I am happy with without having to play a 4.5 defender every week, rotating with Anthony Gordon, who's already suspended this week as well. There are too many sacrifices I need to make to get him in. Now, again, I will continue to try and find a way to get him in, but right now, I can't. Now, Pervis Estupiñán is in there. The Brighton fixtures from Game Week 10 onwards look really nice again, and I know that I'll want him then. I'll also want some of their midfielders. So I am just saying that I'm going to, book in a transfer if I don't start with him. So I am going to start with him in my team. I'll likely bench him for the next 3, which is why I have to go with Burn over Botman at the moment, because I need that defender for the next couple of weeks. Moving into midfield, we do at the moment have double Spurs midfield. Son looks so good. He has been carrying a knock. He does have Luton, and then it's the international break. There is part of me that thinks they might do their best to make sure Son doesn't go away on international duty this time, just so that he can sit and recover. Maddison has been playing a little bit deeper in the past couple of games in the fixtures against Arsenal and Liverpool, but with the fixtures coming up, I think he'll be given a bit more free license to roam. If I could only own one of these, Maddison downgrade would be the first thing to happen, right? I do think that's a possibility for me in the next few weeks, but I am going to start for these fixture runs with both of them in my team. Then we start to change things up a little bit. Mo Salah is in here. Now, he didn't get anything in the Game Week 7 fixture, but he did play with 10 men and then 9 men for the majority of that game. He could have got something. I just think the fixtures coming up for them are too nice. He has been so consistent. I just want that tick along of points. I need that consistency in my team now until Christmas time and beyond, where Salah is hopefully just going to tick along. Now, the 2 cheap options. For me, Diaby is a bit of a no-brainer. Villa looks so good. I think 2 assists again at the weekend. The only thing with him is he did pick up a slight knock for Aston Villa. He did come off slightly injured, but they did say it was nothing serious. He just got a few kicks. So I am expecting him back in Europe on Thursday evening and then in the Premier League again next weekend before the international break. The other cheap option at the moment is Ward-Prowse of West Ham. And this is one of the players I find the most difficult to pick. And he will probably change come the Game Week 8 deadline. One thing that I might end up doing is finding a 2-week placeholder, because I know I'm going to want a Brighton midfielder in this draft, and I can afford to go up to Mitoma, but he has Liverpool and Manchester City in the next 2 weeks. So I'm not going to start with Mitoma, but from Game Week 10, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want him. So I am looking at players who potentially have good fixtures over the next 2. There aren't loads, to be honest, that I really want to punt on. The Nottingham Forest fixtures look really nice. I would prefer Wanyi, but Gibbs-White could work. Hudson-Odoi, Elanga if they're all going to play. But that feels like a bit of a punt. I do back West Ham quite a lot, so that's why I've got Ward-Prowse in there. But that is one of the slots that I'm just not happy with at the moment, and one of the players that could definitely change. I could, in theory, go and play a back 4 and go and get Trippier over him. That is possible as well. But again, I know that slot is going to want to be used up on buying Mitoma in the future weeks. And then up front, there is no Alvarez in here. Watkins and Haaland are absolute no-brainers. Those Villa fixtures, the Villa form, Haaland is going to stay. I know his form isn't actually that great in terms of goal scoring and point scoring in FPL, but he is going to stay. Watkins is definitely in. And at the moment, I don't have Julian Alvarez. The Manchester City fixtures are very difficult for the next sort of 8 weeks. Now, I do expect City to win every game. I do expect Alvarez to play the majority of games, but do I expect him to explode over those fixtures? Maybe not. That's why I've opted to not go with him when I think there are other players who will outperform him. If you've got Alvarez, I still think he's a great pick, but yeah, just this week, I don't think there's necessarily a room for him in my wildcard draft. So this would be a 3-5-2 draft pretty obviously every single week. I'm quite happy with it. The big things I need to decide on is, do I try and fit Julian Alvarez in? I think probably not. Where do I get Mitoma in a couple of weeks when the Brighton fixtures do change and become a lot better? And see, do I need to find a way to go and own Kieran Trippier in this draft? Right now, I don't really have a route, but I know I want him given the point scoring he's got recently. So let me know what you think. There will be plenty of drafts out throughout the week. I am trying to catch price rises and things like that as well. Drop any questions you have, any thoughts you have about this wildcard. Who is the player that I'm missing? I'm sure it's going to be Bukayo Saka as well. Adjust the Arsenal fixtures for the next 4, and then I will likely do Maddison to Bukayo Saka. That is a planned transfer as well. I am trying to find ways to get Saka in this team, but just the fixtures for the next 4, he's carrying a knock, which means that Sheffield United fixture, the only good one they really have in the next 4, there's a chance that he has reduced minutes in there. So I've gone with other options. Saka and Trippier are probably the big 2 I'm missing out, plus, of course, Alvarez up front as well. Let me know what you think of my wildcard. Drop any questions you have about your team and maybe your wildcard as well. If you are on wildcard, let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm really interested to know how many people are deciding to activate it. Maybe you've brought it forward like me. I was hoping to hold it longer, but I've just given up with my team, I think, recently. So let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Like the video if you have not already. The aim is 1,000 likes on the video. Subscribe if you are new around here as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.